In today's video, we're going to show you some core commands in Cypress automation testing. So this is an example of some core commands. So we'll show you some core commands. So first we'll show you how to visit a website, how to grab a web element, and then how to perform different actions to it. So for visiting a URL of your choice, for example, admlucid.com, what you can do is you can use cy.visit, and then you can enter the URL that you want to visit. Another way you can do this is if you have a configured base URL already, then you can just use cy.visit and you can just use a dash, and that will bring you straight to the base URL. Next, for getting web elements, we have three main ways. The first is we use the hashtag to indicate that we're getting a web element by its ID. Or we can grab a web element by its class by using the period. Another thing we can do is we can use contains. And what contains does is it searches for that web element, and it searches for the web element with text that matches the text in the contains. For example, if it's a submit button, it'll search for submit to find the submit button. And so this is for finding web elements. Once you find the web elements, you can then perform actions. So some actions you can perform are click, you can double click, you can right click, you can clear, type, check for checkboxes, you can uncheck it as well, and then you can select options as well. You should note that you can link these different actions together as well. For example, if you find the web element and you do .clear, it will first clear that web element, and then you can do .type behind it to type within that web element in the same command. And so I'm going to show you a little bit of this later on. So I'm going to show you some examples of some core functions. And right now I have my project open. I'm going to go under the E2E folder and under my scripts folder, and I'm going to add a new file. And this file I'm going to name web elements.cy.javascript. And within this function, I'm going to start writing some tests. And so the first test I'm going to write is I'm going to write scribe. So this is the basics I'm going to do. I'm going to write Cypress test for this one. And then I'm not going to pass anything. So I'm going to do this. And there we go. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to do the autocorrect is not working as I would like. So I'm going to do it. And then I'm going to do this one. It will be navigate to web element text what. So this is what this will do. And then this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to write what this does. And so the first thing I wanted to do is I want to use cy. The autocorrect is being very annoying right now. But I'm going to do cy, and I'm going to do dot. I don't know why it keeps doing that, but cy dot, and then I'm going to do once, and I'm going to write uncaught exception. And then I'm going to say set this as false. And so basically what this does is it continues even if there is an exception that is caught. And so what I'm going to do within here is I'm going to write visit, and I'm going to visit this URL that we have. So it's basically www.admlucid.com. And then I'm going to do my test. So I'm going to do cy.contains. So I'm going to find the web element that contains tests, and I'm going to click it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do cy.contains web elements, and then I'm going to do .click, and I'm going to click this next thing, but I'm going to set the parameter force as true. So even if it's not open, for example, or if the web element is not active, it'll still click it nonetheless. And then I'm going to use a get statement for text one. And what this will do is I'll clear it and I'll type, for example, welcome to Cypress testing. And that's the first thing I'll do. So let me save that. And then I'm going to run npx Cypress open. I'm going to go to E2E testing. I'm going to use Chrome. And I'll show you our first test that we've written right here. So it's under web elements right here. And so let me reload this. Let me go back and save my progress. Make sure that I have everything saved. Web elements up. And so I'm here, and I noticed something, an error in my code. So I actually used a round bracket, but I need to use a curly bracket for this parameter right here. So switch that to a curly bracket. Go ahead and save this. Now let me see if this works now. So go ahead and rerun these tests. And now we're basically getting the error where no commands were issued in this test. And so I noticed another typo, Cypress.visit right here. So this needs to be visit. Let me check if there's any other typos. Contains is good. This is contains, and then we're looking for these web elements right here. And so go ahead and save this again. And this time it runs as we want. So if I go through each of these, first it goes to this URL. It'll click test right there. It'll click it. And then we'll basically look for this web element right here. And it'll force click it. As you see, this web element is actually not active and you can't find it. But it's actually one of these elements right here. And so it requires you to force click it even if it's not active on the page at the moment. And then we'll basically load the new page. And then it'll get text one right here, and it'll clear it, and then type in welcome to Cypress in here. And so that's what the first test does. And so it works as expected. Now let me add another one. So I'm going to name this one enter text into text area. And so since some of the code will be redundant, I'm going to copy and paste that over to save us all some time. So I'm going to copy some over right now. Right here. And so basically we're allowing errors and exceptions to occur in order to move on to the next test. And we're also visiting the same URL, and we're also clicking test as well, and we're force clicking this web elements. But the one thing that we're doing different now is we're going to get basically by class text area 3. And what we'll do is we'll clear this text area, and then we will type, we call these action commands or something like that. And I will save this, and you'll see that it will automatically load on the Cypress. And so right here, enter text into text area. We see we're going here, we're clicking, and we're going to this new page. We're getting this text area here. We're clearing it, and then we're typing into the text area right here as well, into this text area right here. Yeah, and you see it's right here. It's in the text area. Okay, so let me write another test now. So the next one will be it, and then we'll do, this will be click on button 1, and comma, we'll do this is equals to this. And what we'll do is, we'll copy and paste some things over, some of the redundant code, because we'll be using that web element page the whole time. And this time what we're going to do is we're going to get, and we're going to use the ID, so button 1, and then what we're going to tell it to do is click it. And I'm actually going to write our final test first before I run it all so we can see what's going on. So it click on choose file 3, and then we'll go ahead and we'll paste over this redundant code, and then what we'll do is we'll get file 3 by class. So it's like this, And then what we'll do is we'll click and we'll use the force is true, like that. And here we go, save it, it'll load, and then we'll go back here and we see a click button one. They both work as expected. So this one, what we're doing is we're getting onto this page, we're clicking this button one, and after we click it, you'll notice that the button will change states. For the third one, where we choose third file, again, we get to this page. We'll go to this page right here. We'll get this file right here. And then what we'll do is we'll click it. And basically this will change the state of this button as well. So if I show you, this will change the state of this button. And so those are the 4 different commands that we show you. So we can access by ID, we can access by class, we can access by contains as well, right here. And then we have different actions that we can perform. For example, clear, type, click, click is equal to true. And there's some other ones that you can use as well. But yeah, so these are some of the core commands in Cypress that you can use to perform your automation testing. If you found this video helpful, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for listening, and we look forward to seeing you next time.